Welcome to Transformation with Martine. Conquer everything and compromise nothing. This show brings you real, raw, and vulnerable conversations. If you have never liked small talk and have been on a personal growth journey for a long time, stay tuned as Martine and her guests share empowering stories. Now is the time to own your past and look toward your future with hope. Believe in your dreams, and all that you want to achieve is possible. Transformation Coach Martine helps you accept and love you for you. It's time to listen to your heart and tap into your unlimited potential. You have the answers you need inside. Sometimes you just need the right guide to help allow transformation to happen. Transformation with Martine starts now.
Welcome everyone to Transformation with Martine, where we conquer everything and compromise nothing. Happy Friday, the best day of the week. For those of you who are unfamiliar, my show is about hope and the resilience of the human spirit. And we are live every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And I'm very excited about my guest today. We've been in this world of transformation for quite a while. Welcome, Kevin Goins. And how did you get started in this beautiful world?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Martine. And I love that you're all about hope and the human spirit and transforming. When you ask how I got started, that's exactly it. 2018, I literally had a webinar that came across my computer that says, what would you do if you looked at the cost of not following your dreams and your passion? Now, you got to understand, I was a pharmacist. We're talking like 15 years in.
Yeah.
And when this came on a computer, I found myself flying to an unknown place in Florida and seeing this speaker who sent me this webinar text, and I'm thinking, like, why am I here? So I'm sitting in the audience, judging, going, these people are crazy, but my heart was going in the right place. So that's kind of how I got started. It was a webinar that asked, what will it cost if you don't do it? Just the pain and the heaviness of regret.
Yeah. So when you think back on that now, what was going through your head, mind, heart when you saw that? Like, yeah, what will happen now? I'm a pharmacist. I'm successful, but what if?
Well, to be honest, what went through my mind was not I'm a pharmacist, not I'm successful. It was, dang, you're still trying to catch me. Like I was literally thinking and talking to purpose. I knew I should be speaking and heading in this direction, but I've been
Mm.
hiding as a pharmacist. So I
Ah,
went into healthcare and put a white jacket on top of purpose. I didn't go in for success. I went in to hide, and purpose
gosh.
still found me.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That actually makes me think of, as we were talking before we got started, I went to Esther Graham's retreat. She's after us, by the way. Next show, stay tuned. Stay with me. Stay with us. um, she was talking about, how we all start out as perfect little humans, right? And then all these things are said to us, done to us, and it's like pouring oil on top of the soda or whatever it is we have on the bottom here, pouring oil on it. And
Right.
then to compensate for that, the oil being there, we dress it up pretty, we put glitter on it, we make it all nice and shiny and look all pretty on the outside, when in the inside all this stuff's going on. So you had the white jacket on, look successful, are successful, but there's this like gnawing inside of you that you have something else.
And
So
I didn't want to give it, did not want to share it.
yeah.
See, in
So you're
pharmacy, I could hide.
yeah.
You're behind the counter. Don't have to
Mm-hmm.
come out much. Count by five until you got to take these pills and go find your cough syrup. I'm
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
But with speaking, you're exposed. You're out in the open. And I was thinking, I can't do that. That's too much. So I decided to hide and just say, I'll make my money this way. And on occasion, if I feel the need, I can kind of maybe inspire people within a company or within a framework. That's good enough.
Mm. So you're
But
sitting in
it
a room of
wasn't.
these crazy people. So what starts to happen as you are going through the conference?
Well, the first thing, again, all on day one was complete judgment. Judgment of myself. Why were you not doing this sooner? But on the
Mm.
outside, judgment of all these people that say they're successful. Like, she wrote 2 books, he wrote three, she's going to this place to speak. And I'm thinking, but on the outside, because they were so free and so creative, I'm thinking, I'm linear pharmacist. These people are crazy. I don't know where I am. And yet I was so intrigued. Day
Yeah.
two, I'm standing in suspended animation because the heart is now open, and I'm just looking, going, "Oh my God!" And when Lisa said everybody down, it was Lisa Nichols, by the way. She
Mhm.
sat everybody down, and I would feel like this. So there was some kind of exercise happening. I had no idea, and she called me because I was still just like I went from judgment to complete wonderment. So
Yeah.
I got on stage by mistake because I was still standing.
Wow. Wow. So take us like on a so you like day two, you're in awe and everything. Like, how does it go from there? Like, how do you start stepping,
She
making those
called
needle point moves, like Lisa says?
again. She called me on stage, and what happened was there was this technique that she taught in her webinars. She asked
Mhm.
the first person to do it, maybe 30 seconds to a minute. They sat down. Then she asked the second person to do it, 30 seconds to a minute. They sat down. When I did mine, not only was it about a couple of minutes, but then she and I sat on the stage for 12 solid minutes because she
Ooh.
was so impressed. Her first thing was, I see evidence that he actually studied my formula before he came to this conference. And I did. Like I
Mm.
literally studied because I know that the best gift you ever give a teacher is listening to them and you give them back their stuff. Now I didn't know I was going to be on stage, but I
Yeah.
wanted to be prepared. So I prepared myself before I went. And she was like, I saw the technique. I saw these things you were doing. Now you didn't quite land the plane,
Yeah.
but what I loved about it was that you were in the proximity. I saw that you were trying. And so she began to teach the audience and then give me feedback on here are the great things you did. And here's how we can up level. And you got to understand, I'm an introvert. I'm still the guy who's judging. So I'm in front of these people. Now I'm sweating because there was
Hmm.
this one move we were supposed to be squatting down and she had me squatting. So I got on these skinny jeans and we're squatting in the spotlight in front of 600 people. And I'm going, what the well, yeah,
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this is too much light. This is in fact,
Oh,
or too much light. But
yeah.
inside, Martine, I was saying, oh my God, I'm standing next to greatness
Yeah.
because the woman who asked me that question on my computer, I'm standing next to her. What the
Isn't that
heck? So
something?
all these feelings are going on. Get me out of here. Oh my God, there's greatness.
Ah, that's interesting to share that. I was a single parent for 3, 4 years, and she kind of her books, listening to her books, because I've been an avid power walker, runner, whatever it is, for years, ever since I started having kids. And I would take her on walks with me, you
Mm.
know, and I just thought, one day I really want to meet her. And now I still haven't met her in person, but I'm on her campus, as you know, and I get to teach, or be part of coach on extraordinaire and all this. And I thought, how amazing is that? Someone who got me through like these single parenting years and supported me in this, and now I actually get to work for her. Oh my gosh. That was like, wow.
Mm.
So I feel what you're saying. It's not quite as intense as yours, but it's still that feeling like, oh my gosh, the things that we manifest and create.
Oh, I love that, love that, love that. Well, after being there, all my judgment has stopped. Now I'm just like full in. And so day
Yeah.
three, we got this crazy exercise. In fact, I'm on location right now. There are some people we're actually transforming, and we're about to do this certain
Mm.
exercise that literally opens you up. You got to understand, the guy who was judging on day one, now I'm in suspended animation, get called on stage on day two,
Yep.
like 12 minutes in the blistering light. Now on day three, I'm standing and going, I deserve to be happy. And I'm screaming all out there. I'm like, first of all, I'm judging myself like, you fool, sit down. Like, people are going to hear you. But I'm
Right.
screaming and hollering and crying. And I'm like, I'm a pharmacist. We don't do this. What the heck? And so it was a cognitive dissonance. My mind over here, you're professional, but over here, are you crazy? What are you doing? Only
Yeah.
creative and poops do this, and you're screaming. But my heart was open. So
Hmm.
she asked about this program, which again, I don't know who this woman is. I just took a new job. And now, 4 days later, if I invest in myself and go in this program, maybe I could go a little bit further. And I found myself calling a friend, like, hey, I need some help. My credit card's coming out of my pocket. I don't want to do this. I've never done this before. Something's wrong with me. I think I'm broken. And it was my financial
Wow.
advisor, but my friend, he said, Kevin, you've never ever really invested in yourself. I believe in constant investment in me, and I
Mhm.
believe in people that really touch you. And because you've been so good with your money and you really haven't done anything for you, your heart is happy for what she's asking. I say, took that credit card out. I'm flying now. I'm going from Florida to California. Again, a complete stranger I had never met. I don't know who you are. It was just a question. What will you do if you have to live with the cost of not jumping?
Yep.
Now I'm over here in this room and we're intimate in this little intimate space and the techniques I saw online. Now we're in, and I'm like, what happened? Complete crazy. So I did it again because I was like, I don't think I learned it enough. So I went in the program again, and I stayed in the
Yeah.
community. So at the next conference, I was like, hey guys, I started doing a technique online, inviting people to the conference. I would do the technique, invite people in, and the
Wow.
call to action was come because your life will be transformed. And
Hmm.
she kept seeing me, and they had this thing about coaches, and they were like, "We want you. We've noticed that you're like working hard, and you're not even part of the company, but you're inviting people to our stuff. We
Yep.
like your spirit, and we think you'll be a great student advocate coach." So I came, learned how to really do this, and all of a sudden now I'm with this person I never met, and we're working together. And I'm
Yeah.
behind the scenes learning how to do all of this. It just boggles the mind.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing when you just take that leap? There's another person in our community. I'm not going to say his name, just maybe I don't think he'd care, but in our community that said he almost didn't show up to an event, and that was, I think it was Speakers Mastermind. I didn't almost didn't show up, and he goes, had I not done that, I wouldn't have met my now wife because
Mm,
COVID shut us down. Like we met and we both flew back to our respective places, but we had like a long distance relationship. And had I not listened to my heart, I never would even have met her.
love that.
And it's like,
Love that.
gosh, right? Yeah. And you took that challenge. You knew it was right. Even if you thought you were crazy, you knew it was right.
Because it was years of not having a good night's sleep. It was years of
Mhm.
arguing with God saying, I'm not going to help people. I'm not going to be talking and speaking because I don't like my voice. I don't think anybody's going to come. And so it was a constant fight, but I knew I needed to get a good night's rest. And
Yeah.
so I had to succumb. I had to
Yeah.
just to
You
go
had to
because it
do
was
it.
getting heavier not to do it. More heavy and more
Yeah.
costly not to go.
Mm,
Yeah.
I understand that. I remember when I signed up for, I guess the first event was Sean. I just saw him, I went to this other event and saw him, and they proposed this program. And I'm like, oh, didn't hesitate, didn't talk to my husband, did nothing, just pulled it out the card and okay, done. And ever since then, it's like, I can't get enough, you know,
Wow.
that
Self-made is
saying yes
amazing.
for the first time. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we're going to take a break and then we'll come back and talk more about Kevin and his story. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to Transformation with Martine, where we conquer everything and compromise nothing. My guest today is Kevin Goins, and we are talking about how he got started in the world of transformation. And we just talked about on break just a second ago about how we plant different seeds. Some grow, some may not, but we just keep planting seeds to lead us into our purpose and journey. So, Kevin, you recently did a TED Talk. And by the way, I just want to say for a moment, if you want a TED Talk, I'm your girl. I have 100% success rate of getting people on stage. Thank you. A little pitch. So Kevin, you
Yeah.
were just on stage like just a short time ago. Tell us
Hmm.
about that.
So the title was Learning to Fly Naked. You asked me
Yes.
earlier about how did I get started. Well, when
Mm-hmm.
I looked at what would I write to people that would actually help them, but can also be true and highlight my journey, it was a naked journey. 'Cause I'm an introvert
Mm-hmm.
again. So
Yes.
introverts were quiet. I'm good. Put me in a corner with a sandwich. I don't need to talk to anybody. I'm okay.
That's
But to
me.
literally run the world with a gladiator who's a speaker who's been in the business for 25 years in the game.
Yeah.
She's written 7 bestsellers, then 8 bestsellers while I was with her.
Yep.
My entire transformation was completely naked because every challenge was just go. So
Mm-hmm.
when it came to speaking, or now all of a sudden they're asking me to coach with other people, it was just be. And we got
Mm-hmm.
very little guidance, but the guidance that we had to learn how to do was watch someone who's been in the business see how they move, hear some of their feedback, and then learn how to internalize it until we can make it our own. So it was a complete naked journey. I began teaching online. The guy who was judging initially in the conference now kind of, you can kind of do this. Now I'm teaching the techniques online and didn't have a ton
Yeah.
of guidance either. It was more like, here's what I'm looking for. You see the spirit of what we've done, go. And I've learned that when you're in spaces with people who truly occupy all of themselves and they really run the world and just in a way that serve the world in ways that maybe some of us average folks may or may not do, when they
Mhm.
give an opportunity and say go, we've got a choice. Am I going to stay here and question and wonder, or will I begin to rise to all that I could be and literally serve from a place that I didn't even quite knew I had in me? That's
Mhm.
why I titled it TED Talk, Learning to Fly Naked, because I was
Yeah.
naked in spirit, naked in vulnerability, and I just had to go and put it all out there and see what happened.
Mhm. Yeah, I am an introvert myself. And like you said, just put me in the corner somewhere. I'm so happy to be in the corner, observing and all that. And that's part of why I decided to do live shows like this, because it puts me out of my comfort zone. And it feels so good, dude. Not only that sense of accomplishment, but connecting with like-minded people and sharing what you actually can do if you step out a bit.
I love that. Love that.
Yeah, yeah. So you are doing something completely different. The white coat's off. You're doing something completely different. Just can you describe what's going on in your whole physiology when you're out
Yeah.
there now? What's going on inside?
So again, when I look at like the people we're doing here, this premium exclusive group,
Mm-hmm.
this guy who's actually training people, even right now on location, is not the guy who was actually learning how to fly naked. No, no, no. The
Yeah.
guy who is introverted uh, is not the same guy like I do now. I have people flying to Texas and I work with them, training them on speaking techniques, training them
Yeah.
on personal development. This guy here was not the guy who started in 2018. The
Right.
reason why I was introverted was because at 9 years old, I was actually bullied.
Yeah.
Teased. My voice, I didn't drop low like everyone else's, and so I was teased about that. Had no rhythm, so I wasn't always picked on different games. And it got so bad that I remember thinking, in church, I would always hear, God is good all the time. But I would always say, but you're not good to me. I would say that
Mm,
inside. And I never forget once I prayed, God, it was so bad. Just get me off the planet. I think you made a mistake when you made me. So again, I'm teaching people speaking. I am speaking. I have a pitch right now with a major company, but when I look at who I was, the very thing I'm asking God to take me off the planet for, they were teasing me about my voice, the very thing that I do. Uh, Helping people from this place, I said, I don't think I can do this. So what made my journey kind of special was because I had to literally look at my life, heal, be aware that their opinion of me is not my business. Wasn't quick and overnight, but I finally got to that place. And then I began to recognize that hurting people sometimes hurt other people, and misery loves company. But more
yep.
importantly, I had to stop looking outside more and start looking inside and recognize, wait a
Mhm.
minute, I think I like who I am. And when I talk, sometimes people do get excited. They get ideas. I think that's imperative. And so as I began looking not outside of the passport, because that inner critic still was in there,
Yeah.
I began to look at how do I let the inner voice be a little bit louder. So the learning to fly naked journey for me it was the fear of what had happened in that inner critic still there while allowing faith to coexist. Fear and
Hmm.
faith walking together. And what I was doing was learning how to put more into faith with action and belief and replace the fear. So it was
Yes.
a dynamic walk for me. Fear began going down while faith began to increase. But it was
Mm,
not easy. But I knew it was the only way as I looked at my story, reframed my life, and recognized I think I do have something to offer. And then once I got that message, then I began to recognize and see that other people that struggle, like me, with whatever their theme is, they matter as well.
mhm, mm. Yeah, most definitely. And I will say that I joined Ignite because of you. Just
Oh,
seeing you, I did. I just thought, boy, he is a leader.
But
He
thank you
knows
so
what he's
much.
doing. Yeah. Yeah. I have yet to get back to it, but I did sign up because you're the leader of it. Yeah. So what something I really
Wow.
like about you, and I like about Lisa's community, and a lot of us in Lisa's community, and many that are in Sean Smith's community, Coach Sean Smith community as well, is there's a faith.
Mm,
Because I fully admit I am a God girl. There's no doubt about it. If somebody believes in universe or anything else, totally great with me, but I am a God girl. I have that
right.
faith. And I always like to look to him, that he made me for a reason. He made you for a reason. He made all of us for a reason. And we got to have someone help us get to that place where maybe if we don't quite believe it, someone else can help us believe it. And I
Exactly.
know, yes, that that's part of what you do.
Oh yeah, and I would
So
tell you something. I thought I had faith because I went to church. I
mhm,
thought I had faith because I said, I have faith. I believe. I thought I had faith because I had my goals and I would try things
mhm,
and I would sometimes make them. Yeah, I got faith. But let me tell you something more, Tony. My faith got tested when I began working with Lisa Nichols because I didn't know how to play on a world stage like this. My faith got tested when I had to begin to just speak on demand, speak in person, just go on a
yeah,
dime, teaching people on 6 different continents. My faith got tested. My faith got tested just learning how to literally walk with people who had already impacted multi-millions of people and made multi-millions of dollars. And now they're
mhm,
putting me in front of them where I come from, where they didn't have any of that. And I'm supposed to go and help that person. So I had levels of faith where I had to begin to recognize and heal who I was, recognize
yeah,
I'm worthy, tell myself I'm safe, remind myself I belong, and then begin to see levels of faith in ways I had never seen in my life. Because when
yeah,
you're with these types of people who begin to really just believe that
mhm,
they're good enough, and I am, I have to ask myself, okay, if you have any kind of fear or trepidation, what's happening inside of you? And that's kind of what got me into coaching. I began to recognize
mhm,
that, I did the best I could with what I had. Lisa brought
right,
me to a different level that tested me, and I did the best I could on that level. I also
mhm,
knew I needed some additional support. So I started doing even more coaching to make sure that can I show
yeah,
up grounded from inside out? And
mhm,
the more I did that, I was like, wait a minute, I think I can actually help people with this. So not only was I getting coached, I began coaching other
yeah,
people because I saw how it was allowing me to fill in my worth just to make sure I knew, hey, Kevin, you're valid. And if you're valid, you can be value yourself as valuable and stop invalidating who you are.
yeah,
That is a walk. That is a process. That is healing the memory, reframing, and then looking forward and walking so that that comfort zone that's trying to keep me safe, that I need you to move out of the way. I got
yeah,
to go another level.
yes,
Process,
yes,
but it's so worth it. Pain,
yeah,
absolutely, but the purpose, yes, ma'am, that's the path.
yeah. And thanks for protecting me, comfort zone or whatever, but it's time for me to go. You can
Exactly. And
come with me, but stay behind me.
let me tell your listeners, because this is something I've learned from me.
Hmm.
When we are tested and it's time to try to pitch ourselves to do something we've never done before, put ourselves out there, try something that just scares us. Here's what's happening. And I know this from science. The brain, like the little amygdala, he's just sending out little signals trying to cast all these imaginations to keep
Yep,
us safe. Because
yep,
the whole goal is protect the host. Who cares about your purpose? I need you safe. That's what the little
yep,
brain is trying to do.
yep,
But what I had to learn, and I want to share this with your listeners, tell yourself, I'm safe. Tell yourself,
mhm,
I'm safe. I may be nervous, but I got this.
yeah,
I need you to trust me, body. We're going to do something different. And then jump and just allow yourself to be wobbly and know that's part of the path. And then jump again and keep
yeah,
telling yourself, I'm safe. I got this. Here's what happens
yep,
when your brain knows that you're really safe and it does not have to keep you protected so you won't die or do something crazy to hurt yourself. It
yeah,
relaxes the imagination, stop fighting against you, and allows you to go to another level and creates a new safety zone. That's what
yeah,
the brain is doing. But you must tell yourself, I've got this. I'm walking.
hmm,
I'm nervous. We're going to fall down. It's going to be a hot mess. It's okay. And we're still going to go
yep,
until we create a message out of this mess. We're going to create a testimony out of this test. So I've got this body. Relax. That's
I
the
love
process.
that.
And it's not pretty, but that's the path to going past where we are here to the next level. Tell yourself,
Yeah.
I've got this. Let your ears know and hear so your soul can feel you've got it. Talk to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And something that Esther Graham said at her retreat too was like, she says every time she goes into a room, even if it's like the third day of a true retreat she's leading, she'll walk in and be like, just tell herself, I got this. Come on, Jesus. But
I
first,
love
I
that.
got this. And then come on,
Because there's something
ah,
about constantly reminding who we are so that eventually it becomes part of our new DNA. Now,
yeah,
with coaching allows us to go so much deeper. We can begin to really see where the fears come from, dissect things, and
yep.
truly allow and illuminate those things that we can't quite see that's in our blind spot. But the
Mm-hmm.
essence is still the same. On eventually, once the body knows you're in control, however we get there, we have to remind ourselves and tell us we've got this. Even
Mm-hmm.
when we may doubt it, the action is the antidote. And you don't have to feel a certain way to take action. In fact, most times, some of the biggest actions I've taken, knees knocking, teeth chattering. Oh, yes, ma'am. You may have knees knocking. That's how it's supposed to be. Go nervous and do it anyway. And you'll
Do it
live, and your
anyway.
body goes, wait, you live? Do it again. Knees knocking,
Yeah.
teeth chattering. Do it again. I live.
Yeah.
And eventually you recognize, oh, all these imaginations, nothing's going to happen. And I really can serve from a higher and a bigger level.
Absolutely. Ooh, yes,
No, no. That's flying
absolutely.
naked. That's trusting self and being
Ooh.
willing to be seen doing it no matter what the cost or no matter how you may perceive people may see you, is
Mhm.
bigger than us.
Yeah. Mm. That's awesome. Yay. That's good. So we're going to take a short break and then we'll be right back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Welcome back, everyone, to Transformation with Martine, where we conquer everything and compromise nothing. My guest today is Kevin Goins, and we are talking about everything transformation, learning to fly naked, stepping out into your purpose, even when you're feeling a little scared, even when your brain is telling you, no, not now, but we step forward anyway. So on the break, we were talking about how sometimes when we might be in a room of leaders, which I recently was, and everybody that I was with is most everybody a little ahead of me, which is good. That's how you learn. But sometimes when I was trying to share something or whatever, it was almost like, oh my gosh, am I kind of feeling fraudulent? Like, how can I teach anybody anything here? Not these women, they're so up above me. Have you felt like that, Kevin? To where sometimes you just like, gosh, how can I teach somebody something? You know what I mean? Just being scared. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know, right? Working with
Yeah.
Lisa was like that at first. Being
Mm-hmm.
under her wing, it's one thing to work with her and facilitate the techniques. It's
Mm-hmm.
another thing to open for her on stage.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the other day, maybe about a few months ago, they had me open, and I was supposed to open with Coach Sean. So I
Mm-hmm.
want you to know, Sean Smith worked with Lisa Nichols,
Uh-huh.
and he's been in the business for, I think, about 20 years. So she's been
Yep.
out there a little bit longer. He's right there with her, and together
Mm-hmm.
they are bringing transformation. He's
Oh,
dissecting the
yes.
truth. They're just a dynamic duo.
Yep.
Well, here's what happened. Martine, sometimes people can see our outer and how powerful that they perceive us to be. And
Mm-hmm.
when they're scheduling us to do things, they can schedule based on what they already know we can, even though they can't quite see what we may be feeling inside. So
Yeah.
that's what happened for me. They scheduled me on a day to open with him.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to understand. At 9 years, here's why this is so powerful. At 9 years old, when I was bullied, I was also extremely smart. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not bragging. It was just
Yeah, you just
I
are.
to study. I didn't have to do homework.
Mm-hmm.
Everything made sense to me. But every year we would not finish the book. And I would say, oh my God, if we're not going to finish the book, even at 9, I told myself, if we don't finish this stuff, I'm not going to get to Harvard. I'm not going to get to Stanford. And I'm thinking this at 9 years old. So at
Right.
nighttime, When it was quiet, I prayed in the bathtub, God, please send me a teacher smarter than me. Please send me a teacher smarter than me. And every year, nothing happened.
Wow.
Well, then here comes Sean, dissecting the truth at such a deep level. I'll
Mhm.
never forget. I said, there he is. There's the teacher. Because it was more about teaching about life and how to really see and how to really be from an authentic place. Love that.
Yeah.
So when they scheduled me to work and open on the stage with him, you got to understand, Martine, I've been praying for this man for almost 30 years. He
Yep.
shows up. That's the teacher. And I'm supposed to, I'm studying under you and I got to open with you? Like, who gave me the memo? What happened?
Whoa,
So then, and
yes.
then not only that, I'm working with Lisa Nichols. Everybody knows this woman, and now I gotta open on her stage. And again, there's no warning. It's just okay, go.
Yeah.
So 4 days before, I started having this feeling of overwhelm, and I was like, oh my God, everybody's just asking me to do too much. Something is happening. And so I reached out to a peer coach and said, because I love coaching, because coaching allows me to illuminate what I cannot see so that I can see it. And you always need somebody outside of you to do your own surgery. Never do surgery on yourself.
Yep.
So I got a peer. And as she started asking me questions, Kevin, I want your younger self to talk to your older self so that we can see what's happening inside. But for
Mhm.
me, the younger self didn't talk. What talked inside was the actual wall. I was bullied, so I built up a wall so that when
Oh, yeah.
those comments would come, nothing could hurt me. But here's the problem: when the comments came of what I needed to hear, I couldn't feel those either. So I grew up wondering, I have emotions. People always say you're supposed to feel a certain way. I never forget in my 20s, I didn't think I had emotions because built this wall at 9 that I didn't know how to get rid of. So the
Yeah.
wall told me, Kevin, what's really happening is not overwhelm. You're going to be on stage in the next 4 days with the teacher that you have prayed for almost 30 years. You're also going to be on that same stage with Lisa Nichols, someone who
Mhm.
you facilitated her technique, her framework safely. Now you must get out there on your own and open for this woman and do it right so it looks good because everything she does is fantastic. So you must do the same.
Yeah.
So what you're really feeling is there's a pressure, a dual pressure. The first one is with this teacher you prayed for forever.
Mhm.
Now you're going to be on the stage with a man that has no safety zone. He has no wall like me, but yet I'm the wall that protected you, that you built at 9. How can you actually perform next to a guy who has no wall? So I'm just
Mm.
crying in this coaching. This is coming out of me. It's emanating out
Yeah.
of me through tears. And the wall was saying, I will go with you in the next 4 days. But if I do, you're still not going to feel. And you'll be next to a gentleman who has no safety zone. He's just walking and being. So the only way to really not have to perform, not have to figure out what you're going to say, how you're going to be, what you're going to do next, so you don't look bad in front of him, you must choose to release me. Your pressure is
Mhm.
I've been with you, but you could not see it until you got this coaching and you asked what's inside. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I was just floored. Like, you've got to be kidding. I'm just crying like crazy. I've never said
Mhm.
this before, but in this coaching technique, it really allowed me to see the program that was running my life for years.
Yep.
Things that sometimes kept me from connecting to all there is, from truly just speaking from a most authentic place. Because I was always trying to figure out what 3 or 4 points I need to say. How do I do it? Where's the lighting? Where's the camera? How do I create a moment? It was always in my regular time, never in this thing. So I had a choice. Oh, and the other thing,
Yeah.
now you're gonna be on her stage, and she's always perfect. I began as Paul said, it's not that she's perfect, she's also connected to all there is. And when you're connected to all there is no perfection. Now you're truly being. So I had a choice that day.
Yes.
And I had to really release my choice of taking the wall with me, stepping out on faith and allowing it to happen. You got to understand, Martha, that was crazy because when I got there, I never figured I went running that morning. I said, all right, cool. I left the wall behind. I'm running this morning. I still have nothing to say. What are we going to do? And I never forget, I got a download that morning and it says, well, what stage are you going to be saying this thing on? I said, Lisa stage. He said, who stage? Lisa Nichols stage. Isn't that what everybody in that conference wants to do? Speak on that stage where you're going to be? I said, I got it. So I come back, I tell everybody I was running. I had nothing for you this morning. I'm telling the room, and the room is laughing with me. But then I said, here's the deal. My presence on this stage is evidence that it's possible for you. And the room went crazy because they're all trying to be like Lisa, speak like Lisa. But just my healing myself first and then giving myself permission to pray and just receive a download, it allowed me to give who I am authentically with the years I have, but not compare to how Sean and Lisa gave to the room with the years they have. We just all
Mhm.
gave with what we have right where we were. But that was
Right.
a process for me.
Mm. I love that where you said connected to all that is.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Belief, faith, and openness.
yes, all that
And that's
is.
true service. That's true service. So,
Mm. Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Well, look at it. You got to hear this.
Oh,
So at the end, I'm going, why are they not celebrating me? What's happening here? And I can hear inside was, they're not celebrating because they already saw what was in you. It's just you got to heal and go through the entire process. So celebrate yourself, get back in the room, and now go create moments for someone else. Try to
yeah.
validate myself more today, high five myself, because Sean and Lisa just thought this is what you're supposed to do. And yet I was growing into the moment on stage. It was crazy, but it was the
Right on
best,
stage.
best lesson I ever got. Mhm.
Yeah.
Transformation
Ah,
in the air.
absolutely.
Transformation in the air. Yep.
Mm-hmm. It is. I remember Charcy Starks, who was, one of Lisa's key people, right? I remember her
Mhm.
saying when she first decided to work for Lisa, and she told Lisa, she goes, "Oh, I'll do this, 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 and this, but I'm not going to be on camera." And Lisa said, "Okay." And the next day she was on camera. So Charcy's like, "Yeah, I guess she thought, oh, that was cute. Boom.
I
Be
love
ready."
it. I love it. Always be ready all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a
Yeah.
great talk.
Yeah, that's something that's like stayed with me all the time. And I've never been, like a lot of entrepreneurs, they'll get out of bed, start working with the pajamas. I've never done that. I've always gotten ready because if I'm ready, that means I'm ready to work. Otherwise, I can just find myself lackadaisical, not getting ready. So that was a good reminder when Lisa just always says, just always be ready because we got to
Yeah.
be.
And
You don't know what's going to happen.
when you're flying naked that way, it just
Mm-hmm.
always an authentic experience that's transformation, not only for you, but also for the room. Be
Mm-hmm.
willing to just fly naked, soar, be vulnerable and free.
Yes.
That's reaching your highest humanity.
Yes, absolutely. Because transformation is, of course, we're meant to transform, but we're meant to help transform others' lives. So we have to be ready for
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we are going to take one final break and then we'll be back with Kevin's final thoughts for y'all. We'll see you in a few. Welcome back, everyone, to Transformation with Martine, where we conquer everything and compromise nothing. My guest today is Kevin Goins, and we've been talking about transformation and just flying naked into your purpose. And on the break, we were talking about, the greatest human need is to matter, is to belong, is to know that someone sees us, hears us. So, Kevin, what is what do you want to share with the audience on your
Sure.
thoughts on belonging, mattering, being a part?
You know, for me personally, as I was sharing that bullied story, I felt like
Mm-hmm.
I did not belong. I didn't feel like I was
Mm-hmm.
safe or that what I had to say
Yeah.
mattered. And I'll never forget, my whole journey was not to be this speaker, not to follow this purpose. It was
Mm-hmm.
more just knowing that, wait a minute, I matter. So my biggest journey was the journey back to Kevin, from
Yeah.
feeling like I was not valuable to recognizing not only am I valuable, but I'm valid. I'm valid.
Yes.
And so when I look at all the hundreds of people that I've coached, even with their stories, we're always asking people, what was that adversity you went through? Something big, or something even just something you didn't want, some kind of
Mm-hmm.
adversity. What are some of the lessons that you learned? But then, as a result of all of that, what are some of the accomplishments that you made that are even sweeter because you went through what you went through? And no matter what story people have, no matter what accomplishments they made, all of it comes down to about three or four things. Number one, I matter, or at least I want to feel that I matter. Number
Mhm.
two, I want to feel that I'm safe.
Yeah.
Number three, I want to feel that I belong. And number four, I just want to know that I'm worth it. So
Mhm.
when people write books, yes, we're writing books. Sometimes we're doing it for our businesses, we're doing it for whatever reason. But if you boil down to the wisdom of what's really happening, people are writing them because they want to know what they have to say. Does it really matter? They want to
Mhm.
know that when I put this out, do I belong? Because sometimes you'll hear speakers should have a book. So they're writing it because they want to belong.
Yeah.
Oprah said that after 37,000 interviews she had over 25 years, Oprah Winfrey said the single most important thing that she saw from every person, no matter whether they were the KKK or they were Nelson Mandela, whether it was Beyonce, Oprah, Obama or Bush,
Mhm.
whomever, they
Yep.
all asked the same question. Did you hear me?
Mhm.
Did what I say matter? Did you understand me? Was that enough? And when she interpreted that to me was that everybody just wants to know, no matter what position they're on, can you hear the cause I'm championing? And I just need you to know that what I have to say does matter. Now,
Yeah.
fights can happen afterwards, people can argue, but no matter what side of the equation, every human wants to know and has to know that they matter. So
Yeah.
when you ask that question, as I looked at myself first, now I look at different people I work with, I just want to tell people, listen, you do matter. And
Mhm.
it may feel like he may have told you you're nothing. He may have left you, divorced you. The kids may be so angry, didn't even come back, and it hurts so bad. However, what I want you to know is this: no matter what you're going through, you do matter. It may not feel
Mhm.
like it right now, but life has this way of teaching us lessons on a deeper level. And as we actually receive and wait and really look back with reflective gratitude, we'll begin to see some of the lessons inside. But they all
Yeah.
boil down to the same things. I want to be safe and feel safe. I want to know that I'm loved and that I mean something. I also want to know that my work is purposeful and that when I put this out, it's going to do something for people. It's going to help someone. I need to know that
Absolutely.
I'm worth it.
Mhm. Mm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm.
Oh. So, where can people find you and who are your favorite people to work with?
You can find me on kevinlgoins.com. In fact, that's my Zoom name. It may be showing right here. But
Yeah.
I love working with people that it's kind of like misfits, so to speak. That's how I feel.
Uh-huh.
I want you to
Yeah.
think about the X-Men. Have you ever seen the X-Men
Yeah. Yep.
before or
Yep.
some
Yep.
version? So if you imagine they're all in this house. Now they all have their own power, so to speak, but the world would call them misfits because they're not human like everybody else. So
Yeah.
if you got these wings that flap, or if you take off your glasses because you have this power, they call them freaks or misfits or people that don't belong. So what I love working with those people like that because they're like me. We've got
Mhm.
this power, we have this voice or something we know that needs to be said and has to be seen,
Mhm.
but sometimes we may be struggling with visibility. Can I go live and show up? Can
Right.
I speak and really be out there? Or even those, I have private coaching clients as well. But sometimes we just want to know that, do I even fit in my family? Like when I come out and just be, will the job accept me? Can I get promoted? How do I build based on all the things and the trauma that I had in the past?
Mhm.
So I call it misfits because we don't exactly fit. We actually stand out. And what you
Yeah.
do have, it does matter. So those are my favorite people because they know there's something there, but sometimes I have to help them remove some of the trauma by illuminating it,
Mhm.
asking questions, and then showing them ways on how can we reframe, repurpose, repackage what you've gone through so that now you
Yes.
can be whole again. And if you're ready, now you can begin to serve other people from your wholeness, not your brokenness. Those are my
Mm.
favorite people. I love that. And
Ah,
have something that's great. But sometimes you just need somebody else to help you do the surgery that you cannot do on yourself. That
yep.
happened for me, and I love doing that for other people.
I love that. I've never
Mm.
looked at it in the way of X-Men, but that's the same. It's like I went through a lot of things in my life. Different things have happened to me, different oils poured on me and all that. And now I just love to help other people who have been through similar things realize that, hey,
Yeah,
you learned a lot in what you went through. Yeah, it wasn't easy, it wasn't pretty, it was messy and all that, but you learned a lot in that. And you can use those things to serve other people in whatever way feels
exactly.
right to you. Yeah, whether it's a coach, speaker, or whatever it is, you can. And you could even do it as if you're whatever capacity, what job that you are, you can help people. Some of us
Exactly. And I
have
want to say,
coached people in the parking lot, we can't have.
I, I was coaching a lady who was washing dishes last night. She was in the kitchen crying, hugged me three
Oh,
times because she could not. I showed her story in a way where it showcased her. This is what I love to teach people. When we go
mm-hmm.
through any kind of adversity and we're healed and we can finally come
Yep,
through,
yep,
there is two words I want you to write down, everybody. It's called embedded authority. When you've gone through something, there is an embedded authority that like you know, like you know,
yep,
that
yes,
no one
yes,
can
yes.
take that from you. But you got to go through that to get the lesson. Now, we may come up scuffed up, little bruised, even a little bloody because it was hard. Maybe someone did something that was inappropriate that shouldn't have happened. Maybe we got financially bankrupt or let go from a job, whatever that adversity is, but it's an embedded authority that now you
Yep.
can not only stand from that place, speak from that place, you can speak and help people from what you've learned. That embedded authority is powerful. That's why I
Mm,
love helping those kind of people so they can really see I got a story in me. And if I learn how to shape it and give it to
yep.
the world in a way, not only can I get healed, but I can actually heal other people on how I show up in my own signature story. So I love helping people with their
Yes,
signature stories and just knowing that all of us have one that should be reframed in a way that first serves us and then serves the world.
absolutely. Oh, yes. This is such beautiful work. It's such beautiful work. And
It's a
I
gift.
love that. Yeah, it is. It is a gift. And I didn't realize, um, the things that I went through or you went through or, any of us, I was bullied as a kid brutally myself. And gosh, you just wonder like sometimes like, why did I have to go through this? Well, this is why.
And that thing, sometimes the thing they bully us over is the actual superpower that I
Yep.
love helping people now look at it differently and recognize is this thing here that sometimes made you stand out that made them afraid. But I want you to stand in it and see what you can do with your newfound power that's already
Yes.
been there.
Absolutely. I love it.
Beautiful.
And I know we can talk for days, but we've got to go. um, thank you, Kevin. I am so grateful that you took the time out of your very busy schedule to be with me today, to be with us today, sharing your wisdom. So, one more time, where can people find you?
KevinLGoins.com, Facebook, Kevin
Yes,
L. Goins, Instagram, Kevin L. Goins, or LinkedIn, Kevin L. Goins. I speak, serve, and coach.
absolutely. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in. Thank you, Kevin. And
Thank you.
we'll see you again next Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in to Transformation with Martine. Real, raw, and vulnerable conversations. Listen or watch live every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on transformationtalkradio.com as Martine and her guests have deep, meaningful conversations, sharing empowering stories. Step into your passions and lead with your heart. If you are ready to accept and love you for you, visit martineemmons.com and start allowing transformation to happen today.